Okay, great. So a very warm welcome to everyone out there. Greetings of the day. I hope and I pray that every one of you is doing great. Well, today we are all here to have all important discussion about this advanced audit and assurance paper. How we can take this paper along. What are the problems which students usually face, because your results are out. And many of these students, there are two types of students usually after the result who are seeking the guidance relating to AAA. The first type of students are those who actually appeared in other papers, in the previous paper before AAA. They got their papers cleared and they are making their efforts to prepare this subject in a very small time and hoping to pass this paper. Second type of students are usually those after the result. I'm talking about after the result period, post-result period. Because obviously when the results are out, the days are not that much. Second type of students are those who appeared in AAA paper. Unfortunately, they couldn't pass this paper and they're seeking for a reattempt. Okay, or there could be students who have appeared this paper in any of the previous attempts and they are planning to give it in September attempt. Okay, so to any category, to whichever category you belong, it doesn't matter. The thing which matters the most is that do you believe that you can make it for AAA in the remaining time? There is no absolute yes or no answer for any student. It depends from student to student. It depends upon you, it depends upon your preparation, it depends upon the time availability which you have, because many students are in the working role. They're having their jobs, they're having their family commitments. And it's not that easy to prepare for such a technical, such a bulky subject in a small span of time. Okay, so before moving on, let's talk a bit generic about this subject. Okay, so first of all, yes, Saria, very well said, but can the students let me know? Can the students let me know how many of you are aspiring to attempt this paper for the very first time in September? Those who are aspiring, those who are willing to attempt this paper, those who are trying to have a go on this paper for the very first time in September, I would appreciate if you could let me know. Okay, so everyone sitting in today's session have attempted this paper, be it the very recent attempt, be it a previous attempt, but you have already attempted this paper, I believe. Okay, Badr, you're going to attempt it for the very first time. Okay. Okay. Perfect. Burton, also first time. Okay, so two of the attendees are going for the very first time, and there could be many more who might be watching the recorded, who might be watching this video later. Okay, Amna is also for giving it the first time. Okay, so let me talk about this paper first. How much time do we have now before the examinations? Today we are standing on 21st of July. 21st of July. And we have around 10 days of July, and we have 1 full month of August. So around 45, 46 days for the preparation of this paper. So the very first question comes in the mind of a student is that, yes, that is this sufficient time? Is 1.5 months sufficient for this paper? Okay. I usually say, yes, it is, but caveat. I do put a caveat, but this paper requires a lot of hard work. This paper requires your seriousness. This paper requires your determination. This paper requires a lot of practice. So for those who are in a working role, it gets difficult. And specifically with the multiple papers, I won't recommend this. First of all, point 1 is my recommendation. Point 2 is your decision. My duty, my responsibility is to guide you, is to give you a direction, being a tutor, being a mentor, okay? If you are trying to go for multiple papers, you're in a working role, I don't think AAA is a very good proposition for you. But if you're going for the only one paper, that's AAA, even if you're in a working role, and if you can manage 3 hours, 2 to 3 hours, 3 hours per day from now, from today, this paper is very much doable for you. Very much doable for you. Are you getting this? Very much possible. There are one type of students who keep on appearing this paper again and again and again. There have been few students in past who appeared this paper for 8, 9 times, and they were constantly failing. And they were not resorting to any tutor. They were not taking the guidance of the tutor. They were just preparing on their own. So I would just request that, see, life is very precious. Our time is very precious. And we are not here to waste our time and waste our life, because your career depends upon this paper. Your qualification depends upon this paper. It's very, very important. It's very, very important that you take guidance and you start taking this paper seriously. Many students don't take it seriously. AAA, theoretical, conceptual, we'll do it. No, this is one of the most technical paper of ACCA. Until and unless you give this paper the due respect, you might not be able to pass it. Okay, what are the prerequisites? What are the prerequisites? Very simple formula, not a very technical formula, and valid for most of the papers. Just stick to the guidelines given to you by the tutor and practice it maximum. That's it. One thing I can assure you, I cannot assure you that in this short span of time, you will be the master in AAA. No, I'll not exaggerate things for you. But what I can do and what I can assure is that in the remaining days, if you are willing to give your 100%, I'll try my best to make this paper an easy-going one for you, inshallah. Are you getting this? I'll try my best to make it possible for you, inshallah. Are you getting this? Yeah. So I'll be giving you some guidelines. I'll be giving you a roadmap, and you have to stick to it. If you can stick to it, you will, inshallah, pass this paper, inshallah. Okay. So let's start the proceedings of the session, although we have already started, and although we have already discussed a lot of important things. Okay. Many students might have seen my lectures on YouTube or many other or in any other session. This is a brief introduction about myself. I will not spend much time on it, but I have been teaching this subject since last many years. I teach this subject, an SBR subject specifically. I myself am a practicing chartered accountant. I run my own firm. I'm partner at HM Chartered Accountants. I'm a fellow member of ACCA, fellow member of ICAP, and have been associated with various technical and professional committees of ICAP and ACCA Pakistan. My contact details are on your screens, and if you have any question, any query, you can reach me out directly on WhatsApp or an email. I might not respond that quickly, but I will respond, okay? So don't worry. Okay. Session agenda. Although a lot of these things I've already discussed in the previous orientation sessions, this time I'll be focusing a bit different strategy, a bit different aspect of this paper. I'll try to highlight a bit different aspect of this paper to help you out, that what are the lackings and what are the problems and how are we going to overcome this. Okay, this paper AAA, about its importance, I think I do not need to waste any time on this, because you know how important this paper is. You know how crucial this paper is for your success. Overview of the syllabus. We are just going to have a look at it. Paper pattern and key areas. Passing ratio, usually it's very poor. We all know. Professional skill marks, very, very important. We'll be discussing this. Reasons of failure, sample exam techniques, teaching methodology, session planner. And we will also be discussing the latest examiner report, and we'll try to figure out that what are the key areas, what are the core problems which the students are facing, what are the core mistakes which the students are committing, which the examiner doesn't like that much. Syllabus overview. Since many of you have already attempted this paper, so I'll not be spending much time on it, but the core thing is, whatever the syllabus is, we should be targeting all the areas. At this professional stage, when we start cherry picking things, then things start getting difficult for us, because we don't know what examiner might be testing. We should be having overview of the entire syllabus. Are you getting? We should be having the overview of the entire syllabus. I'll try to summarize things for you. I'll try my level best to make things easy for you. But still, you have to look at those lectures. Because without looking at those lectures, without covering without having the concept, you might not be able to attempt those questions smoothly. Okay? So, regulatory environment, it's not very examinable topic, not a very important topic, but still we need to cover it. Professional and ethical considerations, we need to cover it. Quality and practice management, a very, very important area. We are starting this area tomorrow. Quality and practice management in tomorrow's live session. This is a very important area, quality and practice management. Don't miss tomorrow's class, please. Okay. Because to date, we have already covered these two learning objectives, almost. A bit of discussion left in this learning objective, and we will be starting quality and practice management tomorrow in tomorrow's live class. Then we have planning and conduct of the audit. Very, very important learning objective, and we'll just see through the eyes of the examiner report, that what problems examiner is highlighting frequently, which students are not paying heed to. Okay. Planning and conduct of the audit, completion, review, and reporting, very, very key areas, core technical areas, examiner's favorite areas. We cannot leave any stone unturned in these areas. Okay. Amina, I'll let you know how can you attend tomorrow's class. Don't worry about that. Completion, review, and reporting. Then we have other assignments. Other assignments, examiner is testing other assignments very frequently. And this is, again, one of the core areas of AAA. So it's not that we can cherry pick which assignments are going to come in the upcoming attempt. No, we cannot. We shouldn't. We cannot make patterns. That prospective financial information has been tested in the previous attempt, and examiner is not going to test it now. This is not the way a professional student should be thinking. We are a professional stream students and we should cover all areas thoroughly. And I'll tell you one very important thing, a very interesting fact about this paper. So stay tuned to hear this fact. Audit of social environmental information, sustainability, integrated reporting, current issues, blah, blah. I'll also go through Study Hub resources, which are now available for you. I'll run through those Study Hub resources. There are lots and lots of material available, lots of guidelines, help available for you. And I'll show you that how can you make the most of those resources. Professional skills, I'll be just coming on these professional skills marks, employability and technology skills. Okay. A very important thing which I'm going to tell you is, specifically in our lectures, in my lectures, what I do. My lectures are not 100-hour lectures, 150 hours lectures, because when a student see 100-hour lectures, oh my God, how on earth I'm able to cover these lectures? No, my lectures are not 100-hour lectures. I try to concise my lectures. I try to cover all the important aspects of my lectures, specifically those which are examinable, which are usually the core focus of the examiner, okay? But we cover all the topics. And then our core focus is on practice. Why I'm saying that our core focus is on practice? Okay, let's just have a look. Let's just have a look at the recent examiner's report. What examiner is saying? Okay, I'm just breaking the sequence and I'm just going on to the examiner's report. Okay, so this is the March-June 2023 examiner's report in front of you on your screens. So if I appreciate if every one of you can acknowledge me that yes, you can see this report on your screens. Great. Okay. Very important to see from the eyes of the examiner that how the examiner is evaluating your performance. What are the pain points which the examiner is facing while marking your script? Okay, it's very, very important. Okay, we know that now AAA exam is obviously it has always been 100-mark exam, but now there are only 80 technical marks. There are only 80 technical marks. And 20 professional marks. 20 professional marks. Who is going to score those 20 professional marks? Any idea? Who can score these 20 professional marks? Very simple answer. A professional student can score these 20 professional marks. Another question. Who is a professional student? A professional student is the one who approaches the question, in the manner guided by the tutor. Keeping in view all the aspects which the tutor has focused a lot. I'll show you how. See. Okay. Always, the question number one is a 50-marker question. You all know this. Earlier, the question one contained 4 technical marks, but now there are 10 technical marks in question number 1. So 4 pertaining to the communication, those remain the same. Rest of the 6 pertaining to other professional skills. Okay, see what the examiner is saying. Examiner is saying that students are attempting the answer, and they are not following the exam technique. I always focus a lot on exam technique. Now, what is the exam technique? What is the exam technique? See this. Just look at this exam technique. I'm just sharing one exam technique with you at the moment. Okay, first of all, see this exam technique, and then I'll be linking it to the examiner's report. I'm just running through this one exam technique, and then I'll be linking with the examiner comments. The rest of the comments, obviously, you can read it on your own, but I'm trying to focus on this exam technique, risk of material misstatements, because this is usually 1/4 of your paper, a quarter of your paper, around 25 marks risk assessment question. Getting? So I'm focusing on this. So this is the exam technique of risk of material misstatement. See, very important. I want every one of you to be very focused. This is the exam technique of risk of material misstatement. 6-step exam technique. 6-step exam technique. If any of the student is following the exam technique, is following this 6-step exam technique, he cannot lose marks. He or she cannot lose marks in audit risk question. Simple. So what my duty is, what my responsibility is, there are only just 2 responsibilities. Number 1, to give you the necessary concepts. And number 2, to teach you how are you going to apply this exam technique when you are drafting your answers. I'll show you 1, 2, 3 questions, and then the remaining 10 questions need to be done by you yourself. Because if I keep on attempting all the questions, it doesn't mean anything, because I'm not the one who is going to attempt for this paper. You are the one who are going to attempt for this paper. It's your exam, it's your paper, you will be attempting it. So until and unless you yourself are typing and attempting the answer, no one can help you out. No one can help you out. I'll teach you how to apply this 6-step technique in audit risk. Now see what the examiner is saying. Very alarming thing. Okay, before I go to exam technique, see, marking scheme. I'm just showing you the marking scheme. Marking scheme for risk of material misstatement. 1 mark, and this is the slide which I'm using for last several attempts. And this is the approach. 1 mark for the relevant materiality calculation. You fetch 1 important mark here when you calculate materiality, or when you link the figures to the materiality benchmark given to you by the examiner, because now examiner is proposing to you what is the materiality benchmark. Examiner is giving you in the question, base your materiality on the profitability. Don't you think that it has now become more easier as compared to the previous attempts? Because earlier we need to set the benchmark on our own. Now the examiner gives it to you. Examiner is making things easier for you, and you are not realizing this fact. Then 1 mark is for identifying the risk and impact in the relevant area. So 0.5 mark for identifying the financial statement area, and 0.5 mark for the impact. So a student, see, a student who forgets to write the impact, the risk impact, that student is losing 0.5 mark. Simple. The 3rd arrow, 1 mark for relevant accounting treatment applied to the scenario. The one who writes the accounting treatment but doesn't apply misses half mark. Or one who directly applies without mentioning the treatment misses half mark. Additional half mark for relevant trend calculation, because the examiner sometimes give the numbers. This amount is increasing, this is decreasing, receivables are increasing, inventory is increasing, sales is decreasing, cost of goods is increasing. So if you carry out necessary ratio analysis, and if you calculate meaningful ratios to interpret your answers, you get additional half a mark. So how many marks you can get for a one risk? 1, 2, 3, 3.5. 3.5 marks. Can you get more? Can you get more marks from one risk? Yes, there are a few risks on which examiner gives you loads of information. If you utilize all those information, you can make it even further bulky, but it's not a guarantee. This is, what should I say, the standard marking scheme. Examiner can enhance it for any particular point for which you have produced valid arguments, but don't expect more than this. And usually, there are 3 marks available for one risk. All these are not available. All this information is not available for every risk. For example, there may be an audit risk for which there might be no materiality calculations because examiner has not given you any monetary number for the misstatement. But yes, examiner has hinted you that treatment is not right. So you cannot calculate materiality. So that risk can only fetch you 2 marks. But a risk has numbers given, so you can also calculate materiality and risk, impact, financial statement area, accounting treatment, application of accounting treatment. So you can fetch 3 marks out of that risk. Okay. Now what students do? Students try to identify more risks. They try to identify more risks, number of risks. They try to increase number of risks. For example, 18 marks are given for financial statement risks. 18 marks are given for risks of material misstatement. And I'm coming on to this, Imran. I'm just coming on to this. If 18 marks are given for a risks of material misstatement, 18 marks, then how many risks should we identify? How many? Can anyone have any guesses? Can anyone have guesses? I need your guesses. Many of you have attempted this paper. I need your guesses. How many? Michael, 9. Okay, around 8. This is what most students try to do. They try to identify 9 risks. This is the point where they usually deviate from the right path. They utilize or channelize all their efforts to identify 9 risks. And in fact, there might not be 9 risks given to you in the question. Examiner has given you so much of information for every risk. The examiner has tried to make the risk as juicy as possible so that you can get 3 marks out of one risk. So even if a student identifies 6 juicy risks and identifies all these elements in those 6 risks, he has attempted 18 mark part. And he has not only attempted, but well attempted it. 18 marks, done and dusted. But if you keep on trying to identify the 9 risks, what will happen? Those risks will be irrelevant. Those risks will be, what should I say, generic risks. Are you getting this? Examiner has used a specific word for those types of risks. Now let's see the examiner report. See, read this. I hope you can see my screens. Read this, what examiner is saying. An issue arises repeatedly. Now I'm telling you, every teacher guides their students what to do, what not to do. What issue arises? An issue arises repeatedly is that many candidates are still attempting to find 9 risks for an 18-mark question at the expense of conducting little or no in-depth analysis of any of them. Their focus is the quantity. They are trying to fulfill the quantity. They are trying to fulfill the quota of 9 to complete the quantity without realizing this fact that by doing this, they will ruin the quality of their answers. In their eyes, they've done the best thing on this earth. But unfortunately, these are the foolish students who have wasted their time. See, this will not be sufficient to attain pass mark. This means some of these risks stated in these answers will be speculative, not significant, and therefore will obtain no credit. Imran, usually what happens when you have practiced risk assessment questions, you know which risk will fetch you 3 marks and which risk will fetch you 2 marks. We'll practice it. I'll tell you. The risk which gives you the number, you have to calculate materiality, because 1 mark will be for materiality. There is a risk, there is information given. It's not a speculative risk for which there is no materiality number given. You can fetch 2 marks for that risk. It's not that it's compulsory that every risk you write should be of 3 marks. No. But I'm just telling you that there could be a risk for which you might get 2.5. There could be a risk for which you can get 3. There could be a risk for which you can get 2. So keeping in view the pickings which you are making risk by risk, 1 by 1, you need to be cognizant of the fact that when you have picked 18 marks, or let me rephrase my words, when you have attempted for 18 marks. This is what AAA is about. Understand the technique. Understand how to draft and what to draft. See, this is a speculative risk which will not gain credit. And see, you have to explain it properly. Why a risk arises, an implication that this has on the financial statements or the audit itself. See what do students do? Not simply a list of risks, because when you are trying to identify so many risks, then you might not focus on explanation that much. It's merely a listing. Okay. Evaluation is missing. See, very few students obtain the professional and technical credit for the evaluation of those risks. Evaluation is important. It's not just listing those risks. Are you getting this? And most importantly, when I teach you any area, my focus is linking an application. See, this is an application-based paper. If you learn any knowledge-based requirements and you simply reproduce it in the AAA exam, unfortunately, this is not going to work until and unless you link it to the question, you link it to the scenario. And mind my words, examiner gives you lots and lots of information, lots and lots food for thought. It is not that you don't know what to write and how to write. Examiner is usually spoon feeding you the risks. Examiner in the content, in the scenario, usually spoon feeding you the problems. But due to lack of practice, you are unable to identify those easy pickings. So what I'll try to teach you, how you can grab those easy pickings. Are you getting this? Then examiner specifically says, prioritize the risks and see what examiner is complaining. There is hardly any prioritization. Students hardly prioritize the risks. What do we mean when we say prioritize the risk? This prioritization is in the sequence of significance. If a risk is a significant one, you should explain that this is, for example, you identified 6 risks. Then don't say every risk is significant. No, usually not. The significance of the risks depends upon the nature of the risk and the amount involved. And suppose if it requires a high degree of estimation, high degree of judgment, it automatically increases the significance. Suppose that if it relates to revenue, risk of revenue recognition, risk in revenue recognition is usually a significant risk. We studied in the standard. Are you getting this? Imran, I'll tell you how to link the risks. I'll give you the examples. Don't worry about that. We will attempt many questions, inshallah. Okay. But what I'm trying to show you, and see this, read this. Candidates should ensure that the financial reporting knowledge is at the required standard. This is the issue with most of these students. And see what I've done. I have summarized all these points. In my reasons of failure. And again, this is not a new slide. I have been using this slide for long, and this remains valid. Now, this will remain valid for the attempts to come. Reasons of failure. These are the reasons of failure. If you commit me today, and I'll try my level best to overcome these reasons, I can ensure you, inshallah, you will pass this paper. Selective studies. Cover everything. Don't leave anything. Who are a member of SBR, key accounting standards? Accounting standards are very important. I'll guide you. I'll try to revise those standards. Lack of paper technique. This what I've just shown you. Paper technique. Paper technique. Just for example, risk of material misstatement. Now, similar technique exists for every other area. For every other area. Every other area. See, let me show you. This is the exam technique for ethical threats. I'll teach you how to apply it. Ethical and professional considerations. This is the exam technique. My focus to show you and then make you work on this on your own. Business risk. This is the technique of business risk. This is the marking scheme of business risk. How can you pick the business risk marks? An example, a demonstration. I'm not dwelling into any specific area for now. But see, we need to link it. This is just a sample, just an example, business risk. This is December 2015 question. Health and safety regulations. There is a business risk relating to health and safety regulations. How can you score maximum out of a risk? Business risk. Highly regulated industry. So what could be the problem? There could be lots and lots of health and safety regulations to comply. And what is the risk? What is the business risk? The business risk is that we might not be able to comply with those laws and regulations. Is this enough? Answer is no. Business risk should be linked to either profitability, either loss of revenues, either drain on cash flow resources. If you are not able to link your business risk to any of these events, your business risk is incomplete. This is the core technique in business risk. This is the technique for risk of material misstatement. It's very important that you know this technique and you apply this technique, which requires practice. I can show you one question, I can show you 2 questions, but the rest is your responsibility. You have the material, you have the questions, you have the solutions. You can practice lots and lots of questions. The harder you work, the more you practice, the better chances of you passing. Because when a teacher teaches multiple students, a teacher is teaching all these students, but few are passing and the rest are not passing. What does that mean? Those who are passing have followed the tutor's technique, plus they've practiced a lot. The others might have skipped the lectures, and even if they've attended the lectures, they have lacked the practice. Because at the end of the day, it's your fingers which should be working on the day of examination, not mine. I'm not attempting this paper. My typing speed doesn't matter. It doesn't matter even if I solve it on the screen by my hands. I'm not required to attempt it online. You need to attempt it. So you should be bothered about attempting the questions on CB platform. Simple. If you are the one who are looking at the question and then promptly looking at the answer, thinking that you know everything and you are on track, unfortunately, you are not. See these exam techniques. These are a few sample risks, which I'm just moving on to the prayers break because it's, yes, Burton, don't worry, I'll share this presentation because I need to move on to the break because it's prayers time here in Pakistan. So quality management considerations. So we'll be starting this all important standard and see how long this exam technique is. Quality management standard. Have the requirement of ISA being followed? You should be searching for any audit evidences which might be missing, any inappropriate opinion, work allocated to appropriate level of staff. The question might tell you that junior resource might have been given a very technical task, very complex task, a very big client, but a very small or junior resource working on that client. So you need to pick those points and you need to apply this exam technique. Are you getting this? Appropriate relevant evidence obtained. Audit plan, has it been followed? Has the audit been supervised properly? Has the audit been reviewed properly? Has the relevant communication been made to the quality review of those charged with governance? Again, another very important exam technique, acceptance considerations. In every attempt, examiner is asking this question. Every attempt, almost every attempt. In this exam technique, we are going to study this tomorrow. This is coming in tomorrow's session. Acceptance considerations. I request you not to miss tomorrow's session. I'll show you how to apply this technique. Acceptance considerations. It's coming in almost every attempt. Very favorite area of the examiner. Audit, acceptance considerations, and non-audit acceptance considerations for the non-audit assignments. Non-audit assignments and acceptance considerations for the audit assignments. When can you get 2 marks? When can you get 1 mark? How can you get these marks? Very important. So this is the exam technique. So when you will be keeping these techniques in your mind and when you will be, I usually say that these are the magical tools. These exam techniques are the magical tools. And these magical tools can unlock AAA for you. Now, these tools are very technical and you should know that how to use these tools. Otherwise, I usually say to my students that otherwise you will damage the box and you might not be able to unlock it. Are you getting this? Exam technique, acceptance considerations. Exam technique for matters and evidence question. Exam technique, checklist to remember the evidences and procedures. Okay. So this is a basic overview where I've discussed what are the problems. Okay. What is the exam technique? So we were here on our slide, reasons of failure, and we were discussing this lack of paper technique. The rest I'll be coming after the prayers break. I'll be resuming after the prayers break, and I'll be discussing the remaining aspects. I'll be sharing the details about the future classes. I'll be also sharing the study planner for those who are joining from today. who are willing to join from today, who are willing to start from today, I'll be sharing a planner to those students. So stay tuned. Don't go away anywhere. We'll be right back after the break. Amina, I'll surely share this slide. Don't worry. Don't worry at all. I'll share this slide. Uh, I'll also discuss about the study hub material, which we are already covering in our sessions and we will be covering in our sessions. There is a lot of practice material available now for you on Study Hub. We'll see how can you make the most out of it. So let's have a break. And those who wish to have a coffee or a tea, please have it. And I'll be back after the prayers, and then we'll have some other important discussions about this paper. Okay. Saria, I'll be guiding you about this. How can you get access of the lectures? How can you get access of the classes? 15 minutes break, around 15 minutes break. I'll be back from prayers and then we'll resume our discussion. Okay. Stay tuned and we'll resume shortly. Thank you. Dear students, welcome back. Can you please confirm me? Am I clearly audible and visible to all of you? I would appreciate if you can respond me promptly. Great. Perfect. Okay. So we were discussing the reasons of failure. One thing which I will emphasize a bit further, poor memory from SBR, key accounting standards. I've seen students drafting the accounting requirements pathetically, very poor. Because obviously it sometimes happens that when you are attempting for AAA examination, already a lot of time has been lapsed to your SBR paper when you started SBR, when you started accounting standards. So this again is another pain point, which I just shown you. The examiner is also highlighting. See, candidate should ensure that financial reporting knowledge is at the required standard, SBR standard, not FR standard, not layman standard, SBR standard. So what does that mean? Does that simply mean that we need to revise our entire SBR? Goodness, no, you're not. Specifically, this is the area in which I can help you out additionally, because I'm also the tutor for SBR. So I'll try my level best to get the standards revised, to get the key requirements revised, so that you do not lack in this area, this important area, because all risks are related to accounting standards. Even in audit reporting questions, accounting standards have a lot of important role play. So you cannot risk leaving this a weak end and struggling in your exams, okay? Sorry, here goes. Yeah. Key accounting standards, very important. Lack of paper technique, I've already demonstrated you. Lack of practice. Until and unless you type, until and unless your speed is up to the mark, how can you expect to pass? Poor answer planning. Okay, again, a very important aspect. So these are all the elements which have been identified by the examiner in examiner reports, and I have summarized it for you. Poor answer planning. When we say poor answer planning, what do we mean poor answer planning? When we'll start answering, when we'll draft the answers, I'll show you that 1/4 of the time should be spent in planning. How should we plan? What pointers will we be making during the planning? How can the planning phase help us out in actual drafting of the answers? That's very particularly important. So planning and planning in the right direction. I'll teach you how to do this. Planning is very important, because if you start approaching the question and start attempting the question abruptly, you will end up losing important marks. Amina, I'll just be responding to this because this is my last slide. So you have to wait a bit, because this is my last slide, how our teaching methodology works, what will we be doing, how will we be helping you out. You just have to be a bit patient, and I'll guide you everything, okay? Poor writing skills, drafting patterns, unable to adopt the mindset as per the given case. If you are a quality reviewer, then you are a quality reviewer. If you're audit manager, you are audit manager. If you're audit partner, you're audit partner. Think like that. Don't think like junior. failing to understand the requirement, what the examiner is asking. You should be very good at interpreting the requirements. Failure to understand the marking scheme. I've shown you that how important the marking scheme is, because suppose if you are only going to get 1 mark for a point, and you are keep on writing and writing and writing and writing, and God knows who can stop you from writing for 1 mark. Do you think it'll really work? Yes, it will work, but for only 1 mark. You're going to score maximum, but the maximum is 1 mark. So is it worth writing 10 lines for 1 mark? No. So what's the marking scheme, and how can we attack the marking scheme? How can we channelize our efforts more onto the areas which can fetch us more marks? Very simple. Poor typing speed. After the introduction of professional marks, because there are 20 professional marks, okay, we are here on this point. After the introduction of these professional marks, these have been introduced from September 2022 attempts. So already 4 attempts have been passed. So September, December, March, and June. Okay. So after the introduction of these professional marks, 20 professional marks, earlier there were only 4 professional marks and 96 technical marks. So students had to actually write for 96 technical marks, and obviously for 96 technical marks you have to write a lot. But now the technical marks have been reduced and professional marks have been increased. So what do you think? Is it a benefit for the students or a drawback? What are your views on it? Anyone? What are your views on it? It's a clear-cut benefit. It's a clear-cut benefit. How is it a benefit? I was looking at the passing ratio of AFM this attempt. It was wonderful, around 47%, 50% AFM. Why? Because the students have benefited from 20 professional marks, and now they only have to work for 80 marks, and they'll end up attempting 100 marks. How does that work? What is this? For professional marks, you do not need to write anything additional. Whatever you are writing, whatever point you are making, whatever arguments you are drafting, these will automatically fetch you the professional marks if your drafting and if your explanation is on track, is in the right direction, is juicy enough to fetch you these professional marks. What does that mean? It simply means that these professional skills should be inbuilt in your answers, should be inculcated in your answers. If these professional skills have been inculcated, inbuilt in your answers, then you are automatically going to fetch these marks. Thank you. Jazakallah. Are you getting this? We'll talk about this. What are these professional skills, and how are we going to get the relevant marks available for professional skills? Getting? Communication. These were the marks which were already there, 4 marks. Again, these are the marks which are in the new scheme of professional marks as well. Analysis and evaluation, professional skepticism and judgment, commercial acumen, a lot to be discussed on these professional skills. So I cannot start discussing this now because it'll take hours and hours. The best thing to discuss these skills, the best time to discuss these skills is when we are drafting an answer. Are you getting this, everyone? So this is a boon for you. This is a benefit for you. Try to utilize it maximum. How? How? How these skills will be inbuilt in your writing, in your typing, in your answers. Only one answer to all the questions, practice. So this is a very big advantage. You only have to type for 80 marks and you will get 100 marks. So we were expecting, everyone was expecting that there will be a drastic improvement in passing ratio as we saw in AFM. But in AAA, this hasn't been the case. The passing ratio has not improved a lot, just by 1%. This is nothing. Why? Because the students are not taking this paper seriously. Students are taking this paper for granted. Sorry, I'll come to that. So let's again connect to where we left. Poor typing speed, but if you make the best of the professional marks and you have practiced sufficient papers, you are on track. Poor time management, you shouldn't be running over a specific part. You shouldn't be overrunning over a specific part because timing matters a lot. Timing matters a lot. For every part, there's a specific time. If you overrun that time, obviously you are sacrificing another part. Very simple. Ignoring technical articles. Please don't ignore technical articles. And I'll tell you one very important thing. The latest study hub material, this latest study hub content, which is available to all the students. Sorry, your question. The content, the book, all the content has been made available by the ACC team, examining team. I'll run through that material for you. Okay, just now. So that material, that content has already absorbed all those technical articles. It is specifically written after every area that this content, this writer includes all the knowledge of the technical articles. So you do not need to read those technical articles if you are using the study hub. Are you getting this? If you are covering your content through study hub, you do not need to additionally read the older technical articles. Yes, but those which are coming, new ones, you can read it. Getting? Ignoring examiner reports. We just run through one examiner report for a sample. And we saw how important things examiner is telling us. Do read examiner reports. This will help you in identifying your mistakes. Are you getting this? Okay, now just moving on, that how can we utilize the study hub? Okay, I'll appreciate if you can just hold on for a while so that I can open the study hub. Okay, so I do not know. Okay, I do not know that why it is not showing me the resources. Okay, I do not know. I think the portal is down. I think the ACCA portal is down. And I do not know that why is it not showing me. Just hold on. Okay. Okay, I think the server is down. I think the server is down. I cannot open the ACCA Study Hub at the moment because this is where I get the option to open the Study Hub. Okay, so I'll show you the Study Hub tomorrow in the tomorrow's session, so don't worry. No, because this is the tutor's access. The tutor's access should be through Education Hub. Okay, this is tutor access, and I access the Study Hub material through the tutor's access to tutor portal. Okay, and for the students, yes, you have to access through my ACCA. Amina. Okay. Yes, you will be accessing through my ACCA. And ACCA Study Hub contains all the resources, all the text, all the question banks, practice material, everything. Okay. And we are also utilizing the Study Hub content in our lectures because this is now the source material for you. This is now the main guiding source for you. So we should be using this Study Hub material. Okay. So as far as Saria, as far as your question is concerned, Study Hub is enough. No specific book, no specific kit is now required because all the material is now with you on Study Hub. All the technical articles, if you are covering through Study Hub, no need to separately go through the technical articles. But there are a few exam technique articles, and I would suggest you to specifically read those articles, exam technique articles. Okay, those exam technique articles are very important, and I will suggest you to go through those. I'll let you know which are the ones. Okay, now coming on to the study planner and how are we going to support you. Okay, we have 2 live classes, but we have 2 live classes per week. But I'll also be providing you a few recorded content. And we'll be discussing conceptual areas and we'll be practicing in live classes as well. And I'll also be sharing the recorded content and I'll be uploading it on the portal. And I'll be guiding you how to cover that content or when to cover that content. And you will be covering that on your own as well. Okay. So live classes as well, few recorded sessions as well. Slides which we'll be covering, I'll be providing you in the form of e-notes as well. There is a WhatsApp support group as well, so you can ask your queries. Latest study support material, although you have all the study support material with you in the form of a Study Hub, but still I'll be providing you some additional material which I feel important, easy, and more convenient for you. Okay. Assignments, I'll be providing you assignments, but obviously due to the shortage of time, I might not be able to mark all those assignments. So what I usually do, I usually ask my students to share their screens. I read the answers, I give them the live feedback, and this helps the most. As far as the mocks are concerned, the most important feature is the mock examination. You will be attempting the mock and I'll be marking the mock myself. Okay. The students, the errors, the mistakes identified in the mock exams, the best source of guidance. Students get to know lots of their mistakes. which they even do not think in their wildest dreams they can do. But they usually commit the mistake. I'll just give you an example. One of the students, one of my previous attempt students, he scored 73 in AAA. He attempted the mock examinations, and I think he scored 48 or 52 marks in the mock exam. And lots of I think in 40s, and lots of his mistakes were identified. Lots of his mistakes were identified. He even wrote business risk and financial statement risks, such mistake. And mock helped him a lot in overcoming all those mistakes, and he scored whopping 73 in his final exams. So attempting the mock exam, getting the personalized feedback is the best thing which can happen. And let me tell you very frankly, only 20%, hardly 20% of students attempt the mock examination. Please be serious with your own self. I can guide you, I can motivate you, I can push you, but the rest is in your hands. You have to do the rest. We'll try to keep a live practice marathon as well so that we can practice maximum. So don't worry, I'll try my level best. I'll try my level best to assist you, to guide you, to help you out to the maximum extent, but a lot is in your hands. You have to practice. You have to do many things. You have to be serious with your own self. Group as well. Okay, so here we are on 21st of July today. Okay. Regulatory environment and professional and ethical considerations. These are the two topics which we've already covered in the live classes. Quality control and practice management, we will be covering tomorrow. And I will also provide you some recorded content in this respect. So 2 days, 3 days, we'll be going through quality control and practice management. And from the next week, 24th till 31st of July, we will be covering this learning objective, planning and conduct of audit. Then 1st to 6th, we'll be covering. So obviously, with the live classes, I'll also be providing you some recorded content. I'll try my best to have to provide you recorded content as well. And I'll guide you what to cover and when to cover. And this week, 7th till 12th August, we'll be covering other assignments after 12th. Okay, there could be some variation. We might end up on 15th as well. I've shared the planner till 12th, but we might end up till 15th as well. It's not hard and fast. Things can go unplanned as well. So keeping in view some tentative dates, I have made this tentative planner for you so that you can cover with this planner. You can take this planner, the weeks divided, you can keep yourself on track and you can cover all the content positively. Okay, so dear students, now the platform is open for you, for your questions. You can now ask me anything which you want. And I'll be happy to respond to your queries. Okay, how to access to the portal? I'm just sharing the WhatsApp group link. Okay, I'm sharing the contact number of the coordinator. Okay, let me share the contact number of the coordinator. Just hold on. So this is one contact for admissions. Let me give you another one. And you can also directly visit escriberacademy.com. Okay. I hope I've mentioned the website properly. Okay. So you can contact for admission. Yes, tomorrow we'll be having a session. I'll share the timings, but the tentative timings, it would be delayed one because we usually have at 4:30. But tomorrow's session will might start at 6:30. I'll confirm you the time on the WhatsApp group. Okay. Okay. I'm just sharing the link of the WhatsApp group as well. I'm sharing you the link of the WhatsApp group as well. The general group. Okay, those who are not in the group, I have shared the WhatsApp group link. My contact number, you can find here and you can note it down, but I would request you. Okay, here's the contact info in this on this slide. So you can have this number noted. Any other queries, any other problems, any other concerns? Okay. Badr, I will share these notes in PDF and I'll place it on the portal. Currently, these are not, but I'll place it on the portal. Don't worry about that. Okay. Is it possible to get the required risks in question number 1 without reading through the whole question? Don't do it at all. Read the question, plan for the risks, and then draft it. And we'll do lots of drill for that. So don't worry about that. Lazy. Okay. You will just share it in the WhatsApp group you shared. Okay. I'll share it in the WhatsApp group. Don't worry, Amina. No worries. I'll share in the WhatsApp group. Okay. I have few last minute discussion, very important discussion, concluding discussion I have to do. I have to take 5 concluding minutes. So if you are done with your question, then I'll start my ending note, which is very important. Everyone, any other questions, any other queries, please let me know. Is everyone done? Okay, my ending note. Okay, Imran, what was your question? When can we have mock? I have already shared the planner and there was the date in the planner. I think you didn't notice. Earlier one, can you please retype because there, and can we have mock? And earlier your question was, I cannot find, there are lots of comments. Can you please retype? Imran, can you please retype? That will help me out rather than searching a lot. Okay. Can you just copy and paste it? What was your question? Okay, which question we have to pick first? There is no hard and fast rule. The best question which you think you can do, pick that one. No need to pick question number one first. Simple. Usually students pick question number one because they are very good at, they think they're very good at risk. They think that they have practiced the risk a lot. Yes, Saria, you will have the access to the portal, so don't worry. All the lectures are there on the portal, the previous ones, and the new ones will start from tomorrow. Okay. Okay, so what I'm saying, the question which you think you can do the best, do it as your question number one. But apart from the lectures, I'll keep on referring what you have to read additionally, so do read that. Okay, but apart from lecture, not much of the content you have to refer, but the practicing more and more questions will enable you to nail this paper down fully, inshallah. Okay, I'll share the planner on the WhatsApp group. So if the questions are over, I'll move to the concluding remarks. Everyone, if there are any question, please do let me know. I'll be very much happy to address your queries. If you have any specific, yes, Saria, you can register. You can contact the numbers I've shared with you. You can register today even, and you will have the access to the portal. I think they'll provide you at the earliest. Okay. Most welcome, Imran. Concluding remarks, ending note. Ending note is very important for every one of you. So I hope that every one of you is listening to me with a lot of focus. Okay. See, our time is very precious and our life is very precious. Our life is not a waste that we waste months and years in attempting this AAA paper, or in attempting papers and papers and papers, and wasting our time and wasting our life. The God has given a lot of potential to every one of you. Every one of you is mature enough to think what is good and what is bad for you. To think, how can you make the most of your time? This is the decision-making moment for your life. 1.5 months, very short span of time. Your hard work, your determination, your motivation can nail this paper down. If you have a strong commitment today that I cannot waste any further time. I cannot waste my life attempting it again and again. My progression depends upon this paper. My increase in salary depends upon this qualification. Everything is linked to this qualification. So let's prioritize things. Let's prioritize things. 1.5 months, one paper, not a difficult proposition at all. But if you keep on wasting your time, if you keep on wasting your money, paying for paper again and again, attempting it with a non-serious attitude, studying it half-heartedly, not giving proper time to practice, then this will be a repeated failure. For sure. This is not an easy paper. I always say that this is one of the core technical papers of ACCA, because ACCA is an audit supervisor, audit regulatory body, audit regulator. So how on earth can you expect ACCA to give you an easy paper? This paper is not going to be easy. Keep the thing in your mind today. If you are going to attempt this paper, this will be a difficult one. This will only be easy for those who will practice it. This will only be easy for those who will give this paper due respect. Otherwise, this will really going to be a challenge for you to pass this paper. It needs a lot of professional and mature writing skills, very high standard, good knowledge of accounting standards, very good knowledge of auditing standards, and then very good command over the technique which is required for every area in this exam. Everything needs time. You can spare time. Even if you're in a working role, you have to spare 3 hours daily. If you can give 3 hours daily to do this paper, mind my words, you are through, inshallah. This will be a definite success, inshallah. A guided in a right direction, a guided attempt in the right direction will nail this paper down for sure. Are you getting this? Nothing is impossible in this world. Through hard work, through determination, strong commitment, you can do this. And you should be confident that you can do this. Yes, I'm here to help you out. I'm here to guide you. Anything, everything in this AAA paper. Your commitment is the key to success. Can everyone raise their hands and commit that, yes, we will nail this down. This will definitely be our last attempt. We are not going to give any further attempts to this paper. This is the decision-making attempt. We will act like a wounded lion and we'll roar back in style. Everyone. I need commitment of everyone. If everyone is committed to the heart, if everyone is committed to the heart, you will pass this paper, inshallah, for sure, inshallah. Getting? Thank you so very much for attending this session, for taking out time, for attending this session. You will see, together, we can achieve a lot. Okay? I'll share the planner. From tomorrow, we'll be resuming our live sessions as well. My prayers are with you. My best wishes are with you. May you all succeed with flying colors in the upcoming attempt. May you all see the success for the rest of your life. For the rest of your life, at every step of your life. My prayers are with you. My best wishes are with you. May Almighty bless you all in this world and the world hereafter. Thank you so very much. Your tutor signing off with lots of best wishes and prayers. See you tomorrow. Take care a lot. 6:30 PST, inshallah. 6:30 PST, but I'll confirm you the time in the WhatsApp group. I'll confirm you the time in the WhatsApp group. Don't worry at all. Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much. Bye-bye. Take care a lot. Bye-bye.